Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson. And today I want to show you how to play three cool acoustic intros, famous intros from popular songs. So by the title and by what I just said, and you can see I'm using an electric guitar, it's because I am having a little bit of a technical difficulty repair on my acoustic guitar that I just discovered this morning, so I cannot use it. So I'm going to be just doing it on the electric guitar with a clean tone. But it sounds good either way, but some of these were actually, when they're on the recorded version, they're actually on an acoustic guitar. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look. Alright, so the first one we're going to look at is More Than a Feeling by Boston. So this revolves kind of around, it's just three chords. Well, four if you technically count some of the changes we got here, but we got D. So you just take your regular old D major chord here, and we're going to pick the D string, the B string, and then the G string. Now, we're going to do D suspended 4, so just put your pinky down so it's on the 3rd fret of the high E string. Pick that. So we got D, B, G, E, and then you take that back off and E, B, G. Except I forgot to mention that when you do that G at the end, you take your first finger off so that the G string is open. So that's the first measure. Then we're going to go to a C add 9. So just leave your 3rd finger where it is here on the 3rd fret of the B string, and move your 2nd finger to the 3rd fret of the A string. And then we're going to go A, G, B, and then you're just going to take your 1st finger, move it to the 2nd fret of the A string, A, G, B, and then put your 2nd finger up onto the 3rd fret of the low E, and then it's E, B, E, B. So that's the 2nd measure. So both measures together. Alright, so next we've got End of the Line by the Traveling Willburys. So this is a tad bit more complicated than the last one we looked at. This is just a real prime example of George Harrison's guitar playing style. So the first chord we've got is a G over B. So if you just take the D chord, and we're going to move it up so that your 1st and 2nd finger are on the 7th fret, and your 3rd finger is on the 8th fret. So I'm on the 7th fret of the G string with my 1st finger, 8th fret of the B string with my 3rd, and the 7th fret of the high E with my middle finger. So that's the strum. Down, up, down, up, down, and then we come down to the D. So that's the first measure. Then we come back up to that G over D again, and we do that same strum. And then we're going to move that shape up a whole step, and that's A over D. Okay, and then from there, we're going to move your first finger up a half step, so it's on the 10th fret, and you're going to bar the first 2 strings, and then your middle finger will go onto the 11th fret of the G string. And you still, with all of these, you're playing the D string open, by the way. So. So it's like the same timing between the two. So the first measure, second measure, then we come back to that starting chord again, the G over D. So this is probably the most complicated part of this. So we start with the G over D, then we move up to just move that shape up a whole step, and then the D, back to this one. Now we're going to move that up, and we're going to bar just the E, B, and G strings at the 12th fret, and then another D. So it's like the regular D shape, but it's going to be all the way up here an octave higher. So my first and second fingers are on the 14th fret, my third finger's on the 15th. So that second half. So the whole thing. And then finally, we have the forbidden song, Stairway to Heaven. So, I know it's become like a running joke, that, oh, this is the forbidden song, but it's a really great song, and it's a really good song for finger picking, it's like a real workout for both of your hands. So I really recommend learning the song. It's a great song. So we start off, we've got an A minor chord. So what I'm doing is I'm barring my first finger across the E, B, and G strings at the 5th fret, and then my third finger is going onto the 7th fret of the D string. So here I'm just going to go D, G, B, E. Now, if you've never done finger picking before, this will probably be kind of challenging. But basically, when you look at the tabs for it, it'll kind of really make sense that since I'm playing just the first 4 strings, that my thumb will be playing the D string, my first finger will be playing the G string, my second finger will be playing the B string, and my third finger will be playing the high E. So when you finger pick it, you don't want like where you're pulling your hand away like that. You want it to be your hand just stays in place, and you're just moving your finger like you're pulling a trigger. Right. So that's the first half of the first measure. Then we have C major 7 over A flat. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep our first finger where it is. We're going to put our middle finger onto the 6th fret of the D string, and our 4th finger onto the 7th fret of the high E. And now we're going to pick the high E and the D string simultaneous to the B string, to the G string, and back to the high E. So that first measure. Okay, so starting on the second measure, we have C over G. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our first finger and move it up. So now we're barring still at the 5th fret, but we're going to catch the D string too. So we've got the first 4 strings. And and then we're going to put our fourth finger onto the 8th fret of the high E. And that's the last chord where we stay here, and then we're going to move down. So far we've got... Alright, now we have a D over F sharp. So what we're going to do basically is we're going to take this regular D chord, but our bass note, instead of being the D here, it's going to be F sharp here. So the easiest way to do this is just bar your first finger across the E, B, and G string at the 2nd fret. Put your 2nd finger onto the 3rd fret of the B string, and your 3rd onto the 4th fret of the D string. So that transition that might be something you have to practice separately, just getting back and forth between those two chords. So after the D over F sharp, then we have F major 7. So this one's easy. Just going to take your 3rd finger, move it down a half step. So now it's on the 3rd fret of the D string. My 2nd finger is on the 2nd fret of the G string. My 1st finger is on the 1st fret of the B string, and the high E string is open. And now the picking pattern changes just a little bit. So again, we're playing D and E simultaneous, to B, G, back to B, and then E, B, G. So far. Now we've got a G over B. So basically, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can just take your first finger and just put it on the 2nd fret of the B string, or excuse me, the A string, and play the A string, the G string, and the B string all together. G and B strings are open. And then your first finger to the 1st fret of the B string, 2nd finger to the 2nd fret of the G string, and the A string is open. So it's G over B and then A minor. So what I do when I get to there, I just grab a G major chord, because I already have muscle memory for that, but just play the the A, G, and B strings, and then to an A minor, and again, just those same A, G, and B strings. Then we're going to play the A string open. I slide from nowhere to the 8th fret, to the 7th fret, and then it just starts over again. Just like that. Alright, so there you have it. 3 cool acoustic intros that I'm playing on an electric guitar because my acoustic guitar is jacked right now. So anyhow, they're not too terribly hard to play, but they're highly recognizable, just stuff that people really dig. Alright, so if you enjoyed that lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.